everyone, I'm Ria. Welcome to my channel. From now on, I'll be walking you through one of the most important books in music theory, Schoenberg's Theory of Harmony. This is actually the first series on my channel, so if you're looking to dive deep into harmony and composition theory, don't miss this one. Even though it was published over 100 years ago, Theory of Harmony is still a classic for studying classical and early modern harmony. It's got an impressive 4.8 star rating on Amazon, and for good reason. Schoenberg dives deep into every topic with incredibly detailed theoretical comments, helping readers understand not just the what, but the why. If you stick with the series, you'll gain a solid understanding of how to manipulate chords and chord progressions, something most harmony books just don't cover. Now, when people think of Schoenberg, the first things that usually come to mind are his atonal music and the 12-tone system. As he himself once said, he didn't see tonality as a necessary rule of music and believed it would eventually be replaced. But let me be clear, Schoenberg was not against learning or using tonality. In fact, he believed that understanding tonal music is essential to analyzing the masters. He simply wanted to remind us that tonality is not the only eternal law of composition. So yes, the main focus of this book is still tonal music. Alright, let's get into the content. If you have a copy of the book, great. It'll definitely help. But if not, don't worry. You can still follow along just fine. In this episode, we'll cover the preface and the first 3 chapters. First up is the translator's preface. The translator provides a thorough intro to both the book and Schoenberg himself. The key takeaway here? This translation is complete. Previous versions may have left out all the theoretical comment and only kept the dry technical stuff, which is a real shame. Without those insights, you won't truly understand why he recommends or objects to certain practices, or grasp the full logical, historical, and scientific reasoning behind each topic. In Schoenberg's own preface, he urges us not to settle for the knowledge we already have. Exploration is what brings inspiration, new styles, and fresh perspectives. This spirit of exploration is essential in any creative field. It actually reminds me of what Steve Jobs said in his 2005 speech. Don't be trapped by dogma, keep moving, don't settle, and most of all, stay hungry, stay foolish. I think that pretty much sums it up. Chapter 1 is titled Theory or System of Presentation. Schoenberg compares 2 kinds of people. The first group, represented by carpenters, are hands-on practitioners who gain knowledge through experience. The second group, whom Schoenberg criticizes, are the music theory dogmatists who treat inherited rules as eternal truths and turn them into rigid doctrines. You can probably guess which side Schoenberg is on. Yep, he clearly sides with the carpenters and encourages us to get knowledge from living examples and your own practice. In fact, he answers the chapter title by saying he offers a presentation system with the goal of clear presentation, comparison, and explanation of different examples. And that's enough. We need no more binding rules. Chapter 2 introduces Schoenberg's teaching approach in this book, with 4 main points. First, focus on chords. Right now, we're only interested in how tones would sound together and how to connect them. Bringing in other composition topics would just overcomplicate things and dilute your understanding. Second, no figured bass method. That's just basic math and only trains minor voice leading skills without any room for creativity. Third, devise by yourself. You're not just harmonizing melodies, you'll be building your own chord progressions from scratch. There are other methods too, like modulate gradually and no superfluous harmonic analysis, but don't worry, we'll cover those later. Chapter 3 is about consonance and dissonance. It begins with a discussion about the nature of art. Art started as a way to mimic the outside world, then shifted toward expressing the inner world, capturing feelings and impressions and expressing them through a suitable sensory form. Just like the 2 paintings in the slide, both depict the Grand Canal in Venice, but one is realistic while the other reflects an inner impression. However, because the inner world is so subjective and often involves translating one sense into another, like turning a visual impression into music, it's hard to analyze art purely from a subjective point of view. To understand music, we have to focus on the auditory side, meaning the nature of tone itself. Schoenberg starts with overtones as a way to study harmony. Put simply, when you strike a string, it produces not just a fundamental tone, but also a series of overtones, whose frequencies are integer multiples of the fundamental. For example, hit a low C. The first overtone is the C an octave higher, the second is G, the third is another C, the fourth is E, and so on. I've listed the intervals between each overtone and the fundamental, as well as between adjacent overtones. Bold text highlights the intervals when they first appear. The closer an overtone is, the more it contributes to the overall sound, and the more likely it is to form a consonance, like perfect octaves, fifths, and major thirds. That said, consonance and dissonance aren't different kinds of intervals, they're just at different points on a spectrum. Most intervals fall somewhere in between. Schoenberg wraps up this chapter by listing the most common consonant intervals. Most consonant is the perfect octave, followed by the perfect fifth, major third, and perfect fourth. Minor thirds and sixths aren't super close to the overtone series, but they're still considered consonant. Only major and minor seconds, sevenths, ninths, all augmented and diminished intervals are classified as dissonant. And that's a wrap for today. If you're into harmony and composition theory, feel free to subscribe. I'll be posting more content on theory of harmony. And hey, if you're not in a rush, take a look around my channel. I've got some great classical music breakdowns, perfect for a little relaxation before diving into the next lesson. I'm Ria. See you next time.